Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Thursday. It is lesson number 15 for Things to Think on Thursday. Lesson number 15. This is a good one. So, anyways, we'll start with the, just with a little bit of guidance while I wait for people to come on this morning, and then we'll get right to gratitude lesson number 15. We're actually more than halfway through now, so should be exciting. I'll have to start thinking of something else to come up with, because I believe August 8th is lesson number 28. So I'll think of something. Right? We still have the positive affirmation series going on Wednesdays for Self-Care Wednesdays. And let me see if anything else wants to come up. Good morning, older sibling. And okay, we'll start there. That's a lot of cards. Alrighty. So number 1, think positive thoughts. I know a lot of people struggle with that. I have a friend who's going through quite a bit right now, and I was having a chitty chat with them through Facebook Messenger the other day, and then they're like, well, now that I've done this, how do I be positive? And I'm like, that's up to you. You know, you are the keeper of you. Only you can decide how you move forward. Good morning, baby sibling. So think positive thoughts. Number 2, do what sets your soul on fire. I like that. If you're feeling kind of, or you feel like you're going through the lulls, right? And you're in that valley instead of at a peak. Do what sets your soul on fire. Do what brings you joy. Even if you have to push yourself to do it, because you'll start to feel like you again, and maybe a different kind of you, because maybe you've let things go over the last whatever in this period that you've been going through, where you feel like you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. There might be things that you have let go of, and so you're in a way recalibrating. You're pushing that hard reset, right? But, when there's things that do bring you joy, move in towards those, lean in towards those. And, that will hopefully help bring you back to the mindset where you need to be. It's kindness that draws people to you. Charisma. Like a bee to honey. Well, bees make honey, so I've never really understood that term. But, or was it a fly to honey? I don't know. But anyways, maybe I'm the dumb one. It's kindness that draws people to you. It's charisma. When you have a great vibe, even if you don't feel like you have a great vibe, but you just have this naturally welcoming vibe, you are going to draw people to you. Empaths have this. And I mean strong empaths. I really think that everybody has the ability to be an empath, but strong empaths who realize that is part of their journey, that is a gift that is strong within them. Even when they're not feeling at their shiniest, there's this extra vibe that's just kind of around them. Almost says like a help booth, like information 411, right above your head, and people just automatically just kind of come to you and just share. Have you ever had a stranger just sit down next to you and open up to you for no reason? But it's not even just chit chat. It's like deep. They're sharing deep stuff. You were probably an empath. So let's see. Ooh. Be a beacon. You never know who may need your light. Okay? Be a beacon. You may never know who may need your light. There are going to be times in our lives when we feel like we're just, what's our point? Why? Why do we matter? Well, we do matter, because you never know who is out there that is seeing your message. Maybe it doesn't feel like there's a lot of people that really get it. Maybe you feel like there's a lot of people not seeing what you're trying to do or what you're trying to say. But keep going, because you never know what that one person is thinking out there that will need to see your message. Okay? Don't do it for the numbers. Do it because you have, a message to share. Okay? And share your message, and share it honestly. All right? Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Ravenclaw. I think we got Gryffindor the other day. Wit, learning, wisdom, acceptance, intelligence, and creativity. All wonderful traits. And you know what? Maybe this card came up because it's telling people to be strong. You know, um, your humor may not match other people's humor, but you'll find the people where your humor does match. It's having wit. You know, don't hide yourself because you're worried about what other people might think. Let them love you for who you are. You know, let them, see you for who you are. I mean, you may be afraid to say something because you might think other people won't think it's funny. Share it anyways. I can't tell you how many times I've shared stuff and I'm the only one laughing, but I don't care. And that kind of makes them laugh because it shows them that, you're starting to become comfortable with yourself. It's like, yeah, it may not resonate with everyone. Everyone may not even understand it, which might be why they're not laughing. But in your head, and I've said that too, it's like, well, in my head it was funny, so as long as I'm laughing, then it's hilarious. And that kind of makes people laugh because you're learning to not laugh at yourself, but kind of with yourself, right? Learning and wisdom. We can spend the rest of our lives just moseying through life, or we can take life as it comes to us and take the bad things and make them lessons. Learn from it, gain wisdom from it, remind yourselves what not to do again, right? And there's my favorite, acceptance. Acceptance is huge. A lot of times we go through these phases where we feel like we're just learning and learning and learning, and change may come along, and acceptance is really hard because when your vibe and your personal growth starts to change and happen, it gets a little scary, and sometimes we'll find ourselves resisting or fighting back and thinking, oh no, I'm not ready for that. When you have full acceptance of what is happening, the good stuff, the good changes, right? When you have full acceptance of that, it kind of empowers you, and it takes away the stigma of whatever it is that you have felt has been holding you down. I mean, I was talking about yesterday how I was having some major anxiety before a party I went to on Monday with older sibling, and I kind of put so much pressure on it that even after the party had come and gone, I had a good time, I was still kind of freaking out about it, right? And it was because I wasn't fully honest about why I was upset or why I was worried or why I was freaking out. And so finally I just broke down and I told sibling. And I said, this is stupid. And then I thought, no, you know what? It's not stupid. These were my feelings. And even though they weren't, what was stupid was me not sharing them, because I know she would understand. And it turns out she had some of the same hang-ups that I did. And if I had just been honest about it, we probably could have worked through it together and just said, you know what? Who cares? Who cares? Let's just accept it, go and have all the fun, right? And so acceptance is a big one. Be trustworthy. If you want people to come into your life and you feel like you need to be able to trust them, just remember, trust is a two-way street. Okay, I'm not sure why I used a bird for be trustworthy, but maybe it's because parrots tend to squawk, right? And so and say things not exactly trustworthy, but I'm not even sure what actual kind of bird this was. It just was pretty, so I put it on there. All right, just go with it. But be trustworthy. If you want people to trust you, you need to trust them as well. Spread your magic. Spread your magic. It's the same as this one. Be a beacon, because you never know who may need your light. All right? Spread your magic. Spread your joy. Remember, it's not about numbers. It's about the message that you have to share. If you get numbers and you have a message, that's great. That is great. But if we constantly worry about who's following, who's not following, who's subscribing, who's not subscribing, you're going to lose yourself in worrying about that, as opposed to focusing on what your message actually is, what it is that you are trying to promote, what it is that you are trying to get the world to see and understand and kind of believe in, or even just plant the seed so others can help plant the seed. I don't know who needs to see this, but take a deep breath before making any decisions. Take a deep breath before making any decisions. If you were on the fence about something, take a deep breath and make sure that what you are deciding is the right thing, for you. Try to go through all the different scenarios of how it may or may not end up. It doesn't mean that any of those scenarios are going to happen. But if you're not 100% sure about something, you may need to take a breather and decide whether or not is the time to make that decision. Okay, sit back and relax. Deep breaths and chill mode. We're almost to the weekend, so start planning your relaxation time. And relaxation time can be anything. It could just be hanging out by yourself, going to get a massage. It could be hanging out with family, having a barbecue. Do things that relax you. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be still. Okay, when they say deep breaths and chill mode, it means falling into a relaxed pattern, something that makes you just kind of breathe. All right, I got a few more here. Boy, those are a lot of cards that popped out. Here's another one. Netflix and chill, or whatever you do to relax. Do it because the card said so, which means I say so. But no, just chill. All right, little love band there, just chill. So that's 2 cards in a row now. So whoever needs to hear that, you need to focus on that. All right. Have a problem? Punch it in the face. No, not literally, but take your power back. Going back to what I just talked about going to that party and having that anxiety. A lot of times we put so much energy into the negative feelings of things that we forget to remember the positive parts of things. When we flip the narrative from the negative to the positive, we're taking our power back. We're destigmatizing whatever it is that is bothering us, where we're taking its power away and its strength. So, wait, I don't get it. Sorry, baby sibling said, okay, Brian. But, do it because I said so? Was that it? But anyways, but yeah, just, take your power back. That's really what it's all about. When you punch it in the face, because obviously don't punch somebody in the face for real, because that would, the punch it in the face. Yeah, not exactly what I meant, but not literally. But take your power back. And it really is important to know that, because when you're going through a lot and you have all these worries are because it's almost like you're constantly running from something, right? Instead of turning around and facing it. And I had this crazy dream last night where I kept running from something so terrible. And then all of a sudden I turned around and I was like, no. And I took my power back, and all of a sudden I was in control of my dream, which went on to like 5 billion other weird dreams, but and I dream in color, yes. So it's like a movie in my mind every time I sleep. But okay. Brian used to always say, bad day, punch it in the face. I know, I love that. I used to use it at work. So I think I actually got it from you too. And here we go, the sweet life. Don't forget to enjoy the little things, the quiet moments. The little things and the quiet moments. Let's see. It kind of reminds me of baby sibling and Minnie. But don't forget to enjoy the little things, the quiet moments. The little things are always my favorite. Big things are lovely. Big things are nice. Grand gestures are nice. But it's little things, right? Because the little things are not the things that people are planning or focusing or zeroing in on. It's these usually random, spontaneous things that happen. And people are like, you know what? I was walking through this store and I saw this and I thought of you, so I knew you had to have it. That's how this London pen came to be in my life. Believe it or not, it is not from England. But a friend of mine was walking through some random store somewhere in LA, and they saw the pen. And they're like, you know what? I saw it, I totally thought of you, and I knew you had to have it. So, same with my little itty bitty speaker. I can't remember what they're called, like bitty bots or bitty bot. I don't know, something interesting. But I threw the box away, so I think I did. Yeah, I did. So I have no idea what they're called. But it's a little speaker. Man, that thing is powerful. But my cousin saw it and thought of me, and she's like, I thought you had to have this. And believe it or not, it glows in the dark. So it's kind of cool. But remember, little things are fun and beautiful and important. So let us get to day number 15. I'm going to use my London pen today. Day number 15, or lesson, I should say. Lesson number 15. The struggle ends when gratitude begins. Neil Donald Walsh. The struggle ends when gratitude begins. I feel like some of what I just talked about really kind of just segued us right into this gratitude lesson. That was not intentional, but I'm going to use it because it works. It's like I said, when you're running and running and running from something, eventually you're going to get tired of running and you're going to stop and you're going to turn around and just put your hand on and be like, you know what, enough, enough. And when you do that, you're stopping whatever it is you're running from in its tracks. Okay, you're telling it, I'm taking my power back. I'm gonna punch it in the face. Okay, you can punch it in the face. All right, punch whatever your worry is. Gotta worry, punch it in the face. And take your power back from that. Take the stigma out of it. Take all the angst and the anxiety and all of the craziness that comes with it. Take it out of there simply by saying enough. And if it feels like something big, that's where you use gratitude. I'm so happy and grateful that maybe whatever, we'll just make it a generic thing. I'm so happy and grateful that this situation finds a resolution. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's generic, but when you say situation, you can fill in the blanks, whatever, like this, blah, blah, blah. But when you say this situation finds a resolution, you are literally saying, you know what, I'm ready to face this. Whatever it is I have to do, I will do it. And sometimes, even if it's something huge, it may end up being something that, you don't have to put so much effort into as much as just gratituding that everything will work out. Because if you trust and you believe that, it's going to work out. But you have to trust and believe that it's going to work out. Trusting and believing has always been a hard point for me. But not trusting and not believing hasn't been working. So I decided a few days ago, I'm going to flip the narrative. It's like, this isn't working for me, so let's try it this way and see what happens. And no, nothing has magically disappeared. No troubles have magically disappeared from my life. No worries or struggles. But what has changed is the way I face them. Which means that it's not something I'm overly worried about anymore, and it's not something I'm struggling with, because I'm trusting that I'm going to figure out how to make everything work. I'm going to figure out how it's going to work. And I'm going to trust my sources and my higher powers and the universe to help me figure it out. Whether it's something, a grand gesture, or little things that I can do along the way to make things better. And that's what gratitude is. It's about changing your mindset. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, so you just want me to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and it's magically going to happen. No, it's not genie. Okay, you're not rubbing a lamp and a genie's popping out. What you're doing is accepting it. Just like we talked about with the Ravenclaw card. It's acceptance. It's the wisdom to learn, what it is that you need to accept. I mean, it's all right there. The wisdom to learn what you need to accept, along with intelligence and creativity. But I didn't read those two because I really feel like what was meant to be in there was learning, wisdom, and acceptance. Accepting something takes its power away. Now, if you're in bad situations, like bad, outside of the regular human people, money problem stuff. If you're in a bad situation, that doesn't mean you have to accept what is happening to you. What you have to accept is that, do I or do I not want to remove myself from this? Can I remove myself from this safely? But once you realize that you have a lot of power, you'll find ways to reach out to other places and you'll start planning. I have a friend who was in a very bad situation. She started planning. She started, and we talked and I sent her some links. No idea what I was doing, but I sent her some links and hopefully they helped her. And because she'd had enough. She'd had enough. And she was ready to jump ship. For better waters. We don't always have to accept the situations we're in. The acceptance part is when we realize we don't have to be okay with the situations we're in. When we accept that, we're worth so much more. That we have so much more value, and that it might be better off shared with people who will respect that and treat it, with kindness and treat it with compassion and empathy, the same compassion, empathy, and kindness that you give to other people. Some people just struggle with that and are never able to see that. You do not need to be the subject of their, dominion. You don't have to, I mean, that made no sense, but, or maybe it did. I don't know. But I like this day 15 lesson because it really kind of feels like just stuff I've been going through. When I stopped struggling and I started using gratitude, I started changing my vibe. I even woke up feeling different today. And by that I mean, no, nothing around me has really changed, but it's a feeling that I haven't had in a long time. This feeling of hope, that, good things are coming, that better things can be, happening, that I am worthy of wonderful, wonderful things happening. And when we start to feel that self-love and that self-worth and that self-respect, it really starts to change everything around you. You're more motivated. Your vibe is running higher. You're feeling like, you're worth it, that you do mean something to this world, that you are important. And that's a feeling a lot of people struggle with. It's that feeling that says no, especially people that have been beaten down, even if just emotionally for so long. It's hard for them to break these habits. It was hard for me to break a lot of habits. I mean, I've spent a long time trying to break a lot of bad habits because they were comfort zones for me. And I also didn't believe that I was worthy of a lot of good things. That I was, I didn't believe I was worthy of, somebody loving me. I didn't believe I was worthy of, nice things of happening around me, or people being my friends, or my family, just saying, hey, how's it going? Because I always felt like I was below everybody else. That just literally flew out of my mouth. So I have to say, that's a little sad. That makes me a little sad to know that that's a true feeling I was feeling. That I wasn't as important as everybody else around me. Not as lovable as everybody else around me. Oh my God, that's literally going to make me cry. When things pop out of my mouth, it's like a drunk person telling the truth. Except I'm not drinking right now, so it's too early. But I never knew I felt that way. And a lot of times when I just ramble, or just speak my truth, my own personal truth, a lot of times will come out. And so that clearly is something I'm going to have to work on today. And I think it was meant to come out because I didn't see anything before, but my face was so itchy over here. And a lot of times I feel like it's just somebody running a feather over my face. So I always feel like it's somebody trying to give me a message. And I'm going to be honest. I'm a little taken aback by what just came out of my mouth, because I don't think I ever really truly realized that I thought that I was less than everybody else in my family, and that I thought I was never as good enough as my friends were. And I think I've been trying to see this. I think I've been trying to tell myself this, but I haven't. But I think because, like I said, my struggle ended where gratitude began. That now I'm starting to see me. If other people can't value me, that's their issue. But the worst thing is, if I can't value me, that's a problem. Okay? If other people don't value you, that's their problem. Because you should know how much you're worth. But if you don't, that's the problem. The problem is not seeing yourself, not seeing the joy and the beauty and the wonderful things that you add to this world, the charisma you put into the world. If you have people around you that love to be around you, think about that. They're not going to want to be around you if you're not worth it. They're around you because they're drawn to you, because you mean something to them in their life. And maybe that's something that I need to start journaling on. I wrote a page and a half of journaling just this morning. I mean, it was just all this, like that, plus that, there's a lot of stuff going on today in my head. But I know I have more now. And There was a time when I would have literally have said, I'm ashamed that I said that, or I'm ashamed that I feel that way, but I'm not, because that's how we learn, right? The Ravenclaw card, learning, wisdom, and acceptance. I accept the fact that this is something I have felt for a long time, but now I'm going to use the wisdom of the ages that I've been learning, and learn to value myself, to respect myself. How can I keep talking to all of you if I can't do it for myself? Right? So I have to practice what I preach, which is another reason why I do this perspective, because it's like I've said many times before, it doesn't just help. I'm not just trying to help other people, it also helps me. It helps me kind of just gain that clarity. And sometimes, like I said, when I just go on and on and on, it's amazing what might pop out of my mouth. And I'm still a little shocked that is a feeling I've had, that I've just never felt as good as everybody else in my life. Like I'm not as worth as much as everybody else in my life. Maybe that's why I put people on pedestals in my family, because I haven't been able to see my own worth, and I haven't been able to see who I am. And so maybe that's what this whole journey now is about. Learning to respect myself, learning to take care of myself, learning to see who I am and the importance and the joy and the light that I bring to this world. So if you are feeling that way, please don't. You are, do what you need to do to work on it. Do what you need to do to bring yourself to a better place, because you deserve that respect. You deserve to treat yourself with respect, because you are worth it. You have merit. You are an amazing person. And the one person in the whole wide world that needs to see that is you. Okay, so one more time from Neil Donald Walsh. The struggle ends when gratitude begins. The struggle ends when gratitude begins. Gratitude, your attitude. All right. I know a lot of people will, if you think it's hokey and you think it's not possible, then the message isn't for you. But it might make sense down the road. I used to think that. I used to think, wow, that's stupid. How is gratitude just going to make my struggles disappear? Because it changes your mindset. Because you start remembering what you're grateful for. And when you start changing your vibe and you start changing that vibration, it's going to connect with the other vibrations in the world. And it's going to start bringing you everything that you need to move out of whatever situation that you're in, to move through it, to learn from it, to gain wisdom from it, to accept that that is what was, but to move on from it. The hardest thing I ever had to do on this journey was accept my past, because I can't change it. But if I keep fighting it and I keep thinking, no, I can make this different, I can make that different, I can't go back in time and change things. Until somebody invents a time machine, that's impossible for me. But what I can do is have acceptance for what I've been through, have acceptance and gain acceptance for what I cannot change, and make sure I don't repeat it as I move forward. Make sure that I move forward with, complete love for myself, complete value for myself. Okay? You can't change the past. You can accept what happened, and it's not easy to accept it. But for me, the reason I accepted even the bad things in my past was because that's how I took the power away from it. That's how I took the stigma out of it. I wasn't going to let it haunt me anymore. I made a lot of bad decisions because in my life, probably, nothing other people haven't made. But for me, I feel like there have been a lot of bad decisions in my life, a lot of choices that I could have made that might have turned out better. And a lot of it was just because I lacked confidence, because I lacked belief in myself. Because even when I was placed with people who could have helped me along the way and got me to where I needed to be, I didn't trust myself, so I couldn't trust them. Even my higher powers and my guides and all those things that I believe in. I didn't trust myself, so I could not trust them. I have a board that sits on my wall just over there. And at the very bottom, in the biggest letters on the board, it says, trust yourself. And the more I read that, the more I start to. And the more I start to trust myself, the more I see the way I know I can start to handle things and start to not just ignore things and fall into these deep spirals and depression, but instead face it and say, you know what? Okay, first I just gotta stop running away from all the worries and just face it and say, okay, right, I'm gonna punch you in the face now because, I'm over it. Let's stop resisting and start moving forward. Okay, sometimes that's what we have to do. Doesn't mean we're not going to carry pain with us in life, but what it does mean is that maybe if we look back hard enough, we can start being grateful for the things in life that, have worked out, for the things that we have learned since bad things that happened to us in our life. I mean, this is my mom's passing. Sissy's just passed. Last week was 7 years since she passed away. And I always wondered if I could have done that last day differently. Like maybe I should have stayed with her but then I thought, I don't think that's what she wanted, because she literally was almost pushing me out the door. Like, I'll see you tonight. I'll see you tonight. I'll see you tonight. And then she passed away that afternoon or that morning. And I kept thinking, and I beat myself up for a long time about that. Was there something I could have done? Meanwhile, everybody else was saying, I'm so glad you were with her last night, that she wasn't alone, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't accept enough of that. Nobody blamed me. I know Sheeta wouldn't have blamed me, but I blamed me because I wasn't ready to let go. She was my first true soul sister that I had. I knew her before I met older sibling. I knew her before I got close with, my baby cousin, who I call baby sibling. And we had our moments. We've had some good moments. But it hurt. And as my mom's 8th anniversary comes up, a lot of people think, well, you had time with her, so why are you... My mom and I had a very interesting relationship. It wasn't super great until maybe the last 10 to 15 years of her life. But we struggled a lot with each other. And not in a bad way. But more so than a regular kid struggles with their parent. We struggled hard. And we finally found our footing. And I think that's what upset me about Sissy as well, is that her and I had finally really found our footing after all these years. And we're just looking forward to seeing what we could build on in our sisterhood. And then she was gone. Mom and I really found our stride, and then she was gone. And it wasn't until a few months ago that I finally accepted the fact that I can't bring them back. I have moments where I'm sad that they're gone, but my sad moments are starting to be replaced with the happy thoughts. Because I had to accept that they were gone. That they were no longer physically in my life. And going through my grief, that's what it does. Some people never get all the way through it. Some people get all the way through it. I'm just going as I go. I'm just learning as I go. And the more I accept the fact that I can't change the past, that, there was nothing I could have done to prevent what happened to either of them because of cancer, the better I feel about my relationships with them. Less sad and angry that they're gone, and just more focusing on, I'm so grateful to have had them for as long as I had them. And I know that may not make a sense to a lot of people. There are different kinds of grief. There's losing a child, losing a parent, losing a spouse. There's all different kinds of grief. But in the end, it's all grief. It's all pain. It's all hurting. It's all losing someone that you absolutely cared for, that you just want more time with. And people try to put it into perspective for you, saying, well, at least you had this much time. And, no one knows my story. No one knows my story better than me. No one knows a lot of people's stories. I know people who, did not have great relationships with their parents, then, reconnected with them years later only to have a few months with them before they died. And you feel bad for them because you feel like, wow, all that time that was wasted. Because people are stubborn, right? So there's just a lot of different scenarios. But for me personally, once I accepted the fact that I can't change the past, any of my past, I started to have more clarity. I started to have more peace in my life. And I stopped running around like a chicken without a head. Going in 5 different directions while being pulled 6 other different ways. And my process isn't for everybody. Everybody has to go through their own process. Everybody grows differently. But I truly believe that this quote says it perfectly. The struggle ends when gratitude begins. I stopped being angry at the world for taking people I cared about, including baby sibling's husband. I mean, we were really starting to get along. He was starting to open up. And, and they had 2 young sons. And then all of a sudden he was gone. And that's when you really stop and think, wow, that's really not fair. I mean, why does that kind of shit happen to people? And then in a way it kind of puts your own pain into perspective, but and then for me, I actually felt guilty, feeling sad about my mom being gone, because I did have more time than my nephews had with their father. And so I kind of kept my grief to myself as much as I could, because I didn't want to share it anymore, because it felt petty to me. But I want other people to know that it's not. Pain is pain. Okay, pain is pain. Yes, it's a different kind of grief, because they are so young, because baby sibling was so young when she lost her husband. But that doesn't mean your pain doesn't matter, because it does. Because nobody knows your relationship with whoever it was you lost. It may have been so close that you never thought you'd be able to live without them, or you just wanted more time. Everybody's sadness matters. Everybody's grief matters. Okay? And, I need to pause this now, and I need to just move forward, because I apparently have a lot of stuff I got to work out in my head about not feeling as good as anybody else, or not feeling as worthy as anybody else in my life. Like I'm not as important as they are. And again, like I said, that really kind of took me by surprise. I did not expect that to come out. I didn't even know I felt that way. But the minute I said it, it was like, oh, light bulb. So, one last time, as I mentioned before, the struggle ends when gratitude begins. Find gratitude in everything. Be grateful for everything around you, the people you love. As I was mentioning, baby sibling and my nephews, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. So just do your best to go in love every day. If you have a moment, just say, you know what? I negate that emotion, that feeling, and because I just want positivity in my life. And that doesn't mean you're going to be positive all the time, guys. This is life. Life happens. We are not going to feel like we're in gratitude all the time. But if you start to lose your shit, or, like you start getting angry or something, just remind yourself, stay in gratitude. And then ask yourself, is it really worth getting mad over? Or can I just calm down for a second and have an actual conversation with somebody about how I'm feeling? Anger is a knee-jerk reaction, because we feel like we have to defend ourselves. And it's understandable, because in a lot of cases we do. But sometimes, in certain situations, anger just fuels the fire. And it doesn't make anything better. Okay, so, and I know that because I'm good at fueling fires, or I used to be. Not so much anymore, but I definitely was not proud of my attitude last weekend. And that's why I come clean here. I ain't nothing to hide. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But I am worth it. And I need to remind myself that I am worthy of being in this life as everybody else around me. Okay, so I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm sorry if that took a dark turn, but you know what? Sometimes things just come out that I think we need to hear, that I think we need to see, feel, and embrace, and say, okay, how do I move forward? How do I stop the struggle and move forward in gratitude? Gratitude is like a magic word. All right. So again, hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves. If you're feeling this little gnawing thing inside of you, maybe journal, walk, talk to yourself, whatever, to get it up and out. Okay. I will see everybody tomorrow for Oracle Friday, Aloha Oracle Friday. So if you have any thoughts that you want answered, drop them off in the mailbox in your deity's sky. Okay, I always work from a good place. It is not anything weird or creepy or wicked or whatever. I come from a good place. So if you are meant to be answered, hopefully it will come through. All right. So I will see everybody back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Facebook Live. It is public. Anyone can watch. It's under Shelly Marie Lucas. And if you don't catch it live, you can catch it on YouTube after I upload it on the replay under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. I don't normally post the oracles to Twitter, so if you are a Twitter follower and you're wondering, hey, what happened? I do put it under my Goalie Fan 1973 account, or you can, like I said, go to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective. All right. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for hanging in there while I rambled. I will see everybody tomorrow, and thank you so much for watching.